Hi, I'm Brien Lundin, and I am at the Toronto Metals Investor Forum, a kind of a before the PDAC event where we are interviewing a number of companies, talking to a number of companies that are in the gold newsletter portfolio that I've kind of brought to this event. Very happy to introduce to you all Empress Royalty and Alexandra Sherron, and who I know as Alex. Talking about Empress Royalty. Empress is a company that's in my personal portfolio as well. I'm surprised that I actually bought the company before my friend Rick Rule did. But to the surprise of no one, Rick actually paid a lower price than I did, which is a story in itself, that in this world of royalty and streaming companies, which there seems to be a new one popping up like mushrooms after a storm all over the place, that what people want to look for are companies in this space that are focused on, to my mind, largely gold and silver, that are focused on companies that are near production or in production, because that's the key. A exploration royalty is very often, probably most of the time, worth nothing eventually. And a company that is in this royalty space undervalued according to its peer group. It seems like that a perfect royalty streaming company like that doesn't exist, right, Alex?
I agree. Until you meet Empress Royalty.
And they're a good setup there, huh? Yeah, Empress ticks all those boxes. That's what I like about it. You're in the business, have been in the business for many years with your strategic partners of financing companies as they're going into production.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the opportunity in the market.
Yeah.
We work very close with Endeavor Financial, who's our investment manager, and David Rhodes is also a managing director of Endeavor, our executive chairman.
Yeah.
And what Endeavor was really seeing is that the streaming companies were doing bigger and bigger ticket sizes, $100 million plus,
Yeah.
and no one was providing that streaming structure to the smaller side of the market.
Yeah.
So with our background and experience and our network, we have been able to have the concept and strategy and then deliver on that creation side of new royalties or streams and really target our investment dollars into, as you were saying, investments that will bring revenue into Empress. And that's what we've been building over the last 2 years.
Yeah, other companies, and not to disparage other companies, because there are a lot of other great ones in the space, a lot that we recommend. But a number of them are finding existing royalties that may not be involved with the company that's actually producing. So they can't really negotiate with them for better terms. A lot of them are involved with companies that desperately need financing, and they're there to give it to them. But you're working hand in hand with companies really producing royalties, building royalties that match with the company's goals and your goals.
Yeah, and we've invested in public companies and private companies. In some cases where we invest, it's a public company and there's some debt, some equity. In other cases, it's private companies that don't have access to the equity markets. And we're really able to structure the transactions and do bespoke financing using our background and expertise for these companies so that it's a win for both. And we understand their growth plans and where they want to go.
Yeah.
And having that direct relationship, as you were mentioning with, if we were just to buy third-party royalties, there's no negotiation of the terms. Also, we're able to get monthly reporting. We have, with our one in Peru, we have weekly calls. So we're very hands-on with our investment. We're all big shareholders, so we're really de-risking the investments that we're doing.
You can de-risk it, you can protect your investment,
Yeah.
but there are probably opportunities that arise from that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, with our board and management Endeavor, we're seeing a lot of opportunities. We haven't been in that competitive bid process, which has been happening a lot, and especially in acquiring third-party royalties. They're typically getting low returns. Our portfolio average IRR is over 30% right now.
That's remarkable. That's remarkable for starting that, and not all of your royalties are in production, but unlike a lot of other companies, you're focused more toward that production end.
Yeah, so we have 17 investments in the portfolio right now. 13 of those are exploration, which we did as part of our direct listing.
Yeah.
We have one development stage asset they're doing some drilling on now. And then we had 2 development assets, which are now getting into production, and one that was already in production. So that's a total of 3 revenue sources starting to come into Empress. And those will be bringing even more revenue throughout this year as they ramp up their production. And when I look at the pipeline, we're looking at similar ones that we've done before.
Yeah, not a lot you can talk about there, but I know you're excited about that coming up. We'll get to that in a moment, but first let's talk about your relative valuation. On all of the peer metrics, your valuation is at the lower end of the scale.
Yeah.
Which I know you're not that happy about, but for investors, that's an incredible opportunity because you're attracting, smart investors like Rick Rule who see that opportunity, who see that you're buying assets in the market cheaper than he can. But one of the keys that you've been able to do is really lock down and show the market how undervalued you are. Your cash flow, projected cash flow, from the royalties that are either in production or you can see are entering soon, dwarfs your current market cap.
Yeah, I mean, we've invested $19.5 million to date into the portfolio. The net asset value of our portfolio is $47 million.
Yeah.
You look at our market cap, we're roughly $27 million US.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about revenue, we're forecasting just under $7 million in revenue coming in this year at current prices, or over the next 5 years, $54 million of revenue.
Yeah. Wow.
And again, a market cap of 27 million Canadian.
Right.
Sorry, 27 US.
Right.
Coming into it. So we're and looking to repeat that model with our pipeline.
So let's get to that other part then.
Yeah.
You can't talk about the projects that you're working on, the deals that you're working on, but you have a personal goal of at least 3 more this year.
Yeah.
We're already well into the year.
So we're very actively trying to expand our pipeline and bring those into the portfolio. As you mentioned, 3 for me personally is to bring into the portfolio this year. We have exclusivity on 1. We've got term sheets out on currently 2 at the moment. But we go through a rigorous due diligence process, leveraging off the experience at Endeavor and their team with geologists and mining engineers, investment bankers, with our own team of with mining engineers. Looking at it, we've rejected 4 over the last 10 months.
Okay.
So we really do go through a very strict process and due diligence on those projects.
I'm curious, what happened to those 4 that you rejected? I imagine they ended up in other companies.
Great question.
You can't say.
Yeah.
We won't go there then.
Yeah.
But I think that's important that the royalties, the deals that you do are quality deals because you are backed up by the team at Endeavor. You have tremendous bench strength in that regard, technical bench strength and financial bench strength. And I would endeavor to guess that you don't have a problem raising money when you need it if you have a good deal ahead of you.
And we also have a debt facility in place with Nabari. So we've got a $50 million accordion. We drew down 5 of that to increase our interest in Sierra, the one in Peru, and then our one in Mozambique as well. So we have another 10 available to us to deploy if we have the right opportunity. But no, we're so undervalued at the moment. The revenue's just starting to come in and we're starting to deliver on that strategy. And,
if we're looking at, I love royalty and streaming companies. They are highly valued. They're rarely cheap in the market, and especially not in a bull market, a buoyant market, like I believe we're going to see. The opportunity to get a royalty streaming company that is this undervalued on the cusp of an uptrend in the metals like we're seeing is something that I think is exceptional. I'm very happy to be a shareholder. Any other points you'd like to close with?
No, thank you so much for having me. We've got a lot of near-term catalysts coming to the company and a lot of growth plans. We had a simple strategy, we've delivered on it, and we're very excited for the year ahead.
And importantly, the market can only ignore cash flow for so long. So you do it's not like we have to have something else happen to catalyze and get to higher values. At some point, the bottom line cash flow is going to get that valuation up there. And investors now have an opportunity to get in before that happens. So thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you.